historic mill nestled right on the banks of the Cannon River.
Faribault Mill is a 150-year-old company that gets better and better year after year. It's under brand new ownership, and they've come with a 5-year plan to keep reinventing the brand. It's why they're today's good company. Ross, we're in this beautiful showroom. Just beyond this showroom is the production facility. It's all done right here in Faribault, Minnesota. That's unusual.
It really is. We've been doing our work here for 157 years in this building since 1892. We call it an operating museum, and we're actually on the National Register of Historic Places.
This is how it starts. You get these compressed bales of wool, and then it's fed into this machine. I mean, it's still all done how it used to be done.
Yes, it is. It feeds it onto the apron, which then drops it into a weight box. And once it hits a certain weight, it'll drop it onto the flat apron in the front of this and start feeding it through all the workers and strippers, all those cylinders, and combing that wool to get all those fibers straight and parallel with one another. And then it comes out in a roving, and there's no tensile strength, so you can just pull it apart really easily. So then we have to send it over to spinning, and then that puts the strength and makes the yarn.
You step back in the production area, and you see it's still being done most of the way that it was back in 1865 when it first started.
It's true. The methodology is really the same, even dating before 1865, but we've automated that. As you saw when you went back there, we're also making a major upgrade in our equipment to not only restore this mill into the 21st century, but to prepare it to go beyond that as well.
Joyce, I keep waiting to get to the part where I see an actual blanket. There are so many steps. What's happening here?
This is what we call warping. So these are all the yarns that are in the length of the blanket. So he has to set up the creel depending on how many colors are going to be in the blanket, and then he'll run a warp. From that, we beam it off and transport it to the loom.
And the loom is where the actual blanket is made.
Yes, it's woven on the loom.
I'm drawn to these bags. These are incredible. I kind of see these transitioning into like a university bag. Like maybe you could get the licensing for all the Big Ten schools.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea. You're a Hoosier, I'm a Badger, so
yes.
we'll go after that.
Work on that. These are so cool. These are new too.
Yeah, well, you know, wool we've used historically for blankets and throws, and that's the core of our business. But over the last couple of years, we've really expanded our product line of bags, both tote bags that have local places that you can see, but also duffel bags, weekender bags, high quality leather with our vintage wool made here in Faribault. It's been a winning formula for us.
I walked in.
You know, it's super fun, right? And like Hamm's is, you know, especially among younger people, it's like the cool vintage beer.
Hamm's is vintage.
Hamm's is vintage.
And you guys have it on a blanket here. This is awesome. So your designers are really having to think, how can we stay relevant?
Absolutely.
With the different age groups. Like you mentioned, the young people, they like the vintage.
They do, they do. Hamm's Beer is another partnership that we just formed, and you know, from the land of sky blue waters, made in the land of sky blue waters, and who doesn't love the Hamm's Beer Bear?
This looks like it's from the beginning of time, and you're still using it. What is this?
Yes, we have 3 looms that we still use this on, and what we do is we punch the pattern into this film here, the sheet, and that controls how the yarns are fed into the loom to make the pattern. So it ends up looking like this. This is our pattern, and this will control how the harnesses go up and down and how the yarn is fed into the loom.
You can see the quality is right there in front of you.
It's true. We're one of the last 2 that are still doing this in the United States. We've survived this tidal wave of offshoring that's occurred in the 80s and the 90s. So those of us who are still doing it in the United States are not only the best makers in this country, but really we believe the best makers in the world. Otherwise we would have been gone a long time ago.
Oh, it was just such a great experience.
I love everything they make.
There.
Yeah.
So you can order their products online. You can shop in a couple of their stores, Edina and Excelsior, but you'll find their newest products at the mill where I was, and their showroom is just incredible.
So worth a visit to Faribault. Yeah. Oh my gosh, look at that chair.
So they have the licensing now to create official Olympic merchandising through 2028. So they've got these beautiful USA blankets. You can find them online. I just checked. They are posted there. But they're these gorgeous blankets. And my favorite, these new lake and city maps, these have quickly become a #1 seller.
Oh, look at the Door County
and they're
and the
expanding. This
whitefish.
is a really great way, I think, to tap into other states, doing really popular historic areas. But I just love these lake and city maps as well that they're doing.
It's really fun that you can get the same tour of the historic mill that Kelly did. Tours are available every Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. So you're going to want to make a reservation. That's encouraged. And then group tours are available by appointment. So if you have like a group of friends or like a church group or a Bible study or something.
I called my parents and said, if you're looking for something to do, you need to go check this out, because seeing it from beginning to end, how these blankets and these products are made, is unbelievable.
I haven't spent any time in Faribault. I wonder what happens there.
They've got a great pizza place there. I got to get there for a day trip.
Let's do it.
Handcrafted wool and cotton blankets, and it's a part of a company from Minnesota's new campaign called Spread the Warmth.
Faribault Mill is a Minnesota-based company that's partnering with Covenant House Alaska to provide warmth to young people who need it the most.
Our business is providing warmth and comfort to our customers. The issue we have with youth homelessness in this country, more than 4 million kids tonight don't know where they're going to put their head on a pillow. And, you know, as business people and more candidly as parents, that was heartbreaking to us.
And for Faribault's president, the issue of providing warmth to homeless youth is personal.
The privilege of leading this company, but first and foremost, I'm a father, and I have 2 young boys, and one of the privileges of fatherhood is being able to tuck each of my boys in bed at night under a warm blanket. So to know that 4 million kids across this country won't experience that tonight, it was heartbreaking for me and many members of our team.
The goal of Spread the Warmth is to donate thousands of wool blankets to young people across the country. Faribault has been making blankets in a factory in Minnesota since 1865, and it's done through a detailed process by hand.
Starting with the wool off the sheep's back to making yarn, we turn that yarn into a warp, which we put on a loom. We then loom and weave the fabric. We finish it at our facility in Faribault, Minnesota, and then we cut, sew, and fold it.
And they end up with wool blankets that are,
warm, comfortable, and we felt like this was a unique design and a unique construction for us to be able to give these kids.
For more information on Faribault Mill's blankets and the Spread the Warmth campaign, you can visit faribaultmill.com.
Recently caught the eye of the New York Times as a great holiday gift idea.
But there's something else happening at the company that's just as special. Eva tells us all about that.
After 157 years of being in business, 2 months ago, Minnesota's Faribault Mill permanently changed their business model to promote year-round giving back, reaching vulnerable youth across the country and right here in the Twin Cities.
On a snowy day in Minneapolis, refuge is found at YouthLink.
We're the largest drop-in center in the Twin Cities where young people can come every day. They can get hot meals, they can sleep, they can rest, they can get the things that they need just to support their basic needs.
CEO Rich Meltzer says that includes clothing, scarves, and during the winter months,
blankets, warmth. I mean, we serve probably the most vulnerable young people in the Twin Cities. So the need for them to be warm and nurtured and protected is very high.
Now, YouthLink has a partner providing them brand new, high-quality wool and cotton blankets. In September, Faribault Mill launched the Spread the Warmth campaign. With each bed blanket sold, one is given to youth experiencing homelessness at partner organizations across 13 U.S. cities.
I have 2 young kids, and one of the privileges of fatherhood is being able to tuck in both of my boys at night under a blanket. And when you think about 4 million kids across this country, including here in the Twin Cities, that don't experience that same bedtime ritual, it's heartbreaking.
Which is why Faribault Mill is making this commitment year-round, not just during the holidays.
We have our first blizzard of the year here, so obviously there's a huge need. We obviously accept a lot of charity, but we want them to have things that are new. They deserve to have the best, and I think this is indicative of that.
Since the end of September, Faribault Mill has already donated more than 3,000 bed blankets. Eva Anderson, KARE 11 News.
So you can get Faribault blankets right now for around $200 on the low end of things.
Yeah, in December, the Today Show is actually going to take us inside the mill for an exclusive look at the work going on in this campaign, which will be cool to see it on a national scale,
Yeah,
too.
they're fantastic blankets if you've had a chance to get under one.
Up to and keep them warm in Beijing next month. They'll be wrapping themselves in a little bit of Minnesota. Faribault Woolen Mills is the official partner of the U.S. Olympic Committee, licensed to make the team blankets through 2028 games in Los Angeles. President and CEO Ross Widmoyer joins us live from Faribault to show us the designs for the Winter Games. Hey, Ross, how are you?
Good morning, Chris. I'm great. Thanks for having me on.
Awesome. You know, it's a pleasure to talk with you. I was talking with my wife and the neighbors just and they're like, Faribault Woolen Mills? They absolutely love the blankets. They're a staple. And from what I understand, you're the oldest manufacturer in the state of Minnesota, yeah?
We are 157 years young. We call ourselves a 157-year-old startup.
Yeah, fantastic. So how did you get hooked up with Team USA? How does that partnership work, and what are you guys going to be making for the teams?
Yeah, absolutely. So we, as you mentioned, Chris, are excited to announce at Faribault Woolen Mill that we've partnered with the U.S. Olympic Committee to make a series of limited edition collector blankets ahead of not only the 2022 Olympic Games, but also for each of the next 4 games, culminating when the games come back to the United States in Los Angeles in 2028.
All right, let's take a look at these blankets now. If you got the VO, I got one wrapped around me right now. They're super duper soft.
Yeah, they're awesome here.
Tell me about them, because they're, you know, sometimes you think
Absolutely.
wool you can get sort of coarse and warm, but these are like almost cottony soft.
Well, we worked really hard on making our wool as soft as possible, and we call wool nature's original performance fabric. It keeps you warm when you're cold, but also keeps you cool when you might be a little bit warm. So we have three blankets in this edition for the 2022 games. You can see the one to my left right over here that features the iconic Olympic rings along with the U.S. Olympic Committee logo. Behind me is the classic Team USA blanket, classic if you want that for your living room. And to my right is actually my favorite, a design sensibility with the stars and stripes on Team USA.
That's fantastic. Yeah, I didn't know you did a partnership with blankets. You're like the Ralph Lauren of wool. How'd you get hooked up, though?
That's a nice compliment.
Ross, did you approach them or did they approach you? How does that partnership work?
We had a mutual dialogue. They saw what we were doing. We've gone through a bit of a renaissance down at our mill in Faribault. We've introduced over 100 new products over the last 2 years. And so when we started talking with the U.S. Olympic Committee, they were interested in what we did, and we got together and inked the partnership, which we're excited about, and I think they are too.
Now, also, everything that you guys make, correct me if I'm wrong, are made in Faribault, right? Nothing is made overseas?
It's all made in the USA. So not only are we making product for Team USA, we're really proud to be making product for Team USA in the USA.
Oh, that was cool. Hey, we just showed video of one with a picture of Gull Lake on it. You guys do like individual lakes and communities in Minnesota. I know you did one with Lake Minnetonka too, right?
We do. Our lake maps are hot, and as you mentioned, Lake Minnetonka, we have the Whitefish chain of lakes, and we just introduced, as you mentioned, the Gull Lake chain of lakes. Check
Cool.
those out on our website.
All right, so how can people get a hold of these?
Absolutely. You can shop on our website 24/7 at faribaultmill.com, or you can visit one of our retail stores, either down at the mill in Faribault itself or in the Twin Cities in downtown Excelsior, and soon to be on Tuesday at 50th and France in Edina.
Cool. Well, congratulations on the partnership with Team USA. They look beautiful. They're warm. My knees are sweating right now. TMI, if you will. But thanks, Ross. We really appreciate you joining us this morning. Again, he said you can get them online or at the 4 Twin Cities store locations, one coming to Excelsior. We got a link for you, KARE11.com.
For more than 150 years, Faribault Mill's iconic wool blankets have kept people warm. Now, the oldest manufacturer in Minnesota is seeing new growth. In this week's Behind the Business, Heidi Wigdahl takes us inside the mill to find out how they're keeping up with demand.
This is a place where the old is woven in with the new. Faribault Mill got its start in 1865.
The company's obviously been through a number of ups and downs during that time frame.
The company shut its doors in 2009, reopening 2 years later. Then came the pandemic.
The demand we've been seeing over the last couple of years has been unprecedented. There's been a macro trend that certainly worked in our favor, this whole trend of indoor nesting, outdoor living.
President and CEO Ross Widmoyer says it's led to their largest single investment ever at the mill.
This dryer came from Italy.
Faribault Mill is making a multi-million-dollar investment into new equipment.
This will enable us to run fabric through at least 50% faster than what we were in the past.
More equipment, including a new fleet of looms, will be here by the end of the year.
Really, over the last couple of years, we've been experiencing quite a renaissance.
This year, they dropped the word woolen from their name after acquiring Brahms Mount, a cotton-thrown blanket company. During the pandemic, they put out more than 100 new products.
We also recycle back in some of the rovings and the yarn that's cut off.
Scraps find new life as pillows, bags, and coffee sleeves.
We're not quite a zero waste facility, but we're very cognizant about how we use the byproducts of the blankets and throws that we make.
Everything done with the details in mind. One of 2 vertically integrated mills still left in the U.S.
Which means we take the raw fiber and we take it clear up to a finished product.
Holding on to tradition, while weaving in a new chapter. In Faribault, Heidi Wigdahl, Channel 11 News.
At Faribault Mill, a blanket is so much more than a billowing scrap of fabric. Making one is a 22-step process.
What is this? That is wool. Wool.
Supervisor Rafael Medina showed us how clouds of wool are dyed and dried in industrial-sized machines.
So this is a little bigger than the dryers in our houses, right? Definitely.
Gradually, they're shaped into strands of strong yarn that are woven into cuddly,
I make them fluffy,
colorful coverings.
What do you think when you see the final product coming together?
I think it's like a painting. It looks like a painting being made.
An elaborate operation that recently added a 23rd step. You see, many of the blankets are now delivered to shelters.
Oh, I like the colors.
That are helping young people who are experiencing homelessness.
For us to be able to just provide even some comfort, it really says a lot about the mill, itself.
It gives you even more pride.
Definitely, it definitely does.
Hi guys, if anyone wants a blanket, you can come over and grab one. Super warm, fun colors.
Faribault Mill calls it spread the warmth. For every single blanket the company sells, one is donated.
Thank you, thank you.
An entirely new business model that was just launched in September.
Every night, I get to tuck both of my 2 boys into bed, to put them under a warm blanket, and to know that 4 million kids in this country tonight will not have that same experience. It's enough to break your heart. And as a company that makes blankets, we felt like we were in a unique position to do something about that.
Several donated blankets recently made their way to Youth Link in Minneapolis, which helps young people find long-term housing.
Come on, let's get warm.
The gifts were warmly received.
This is going to be my new favorite best friend. I'm telling you right now. I'm so grateful. Thank y'all for real.
But the blankets provide more than warmth. There's greater meaning.
It means that they deserve something. They deserve something new. They deserve something meaningful. And they deserve to be loved and cared for.
Ferris Bate has never needed love and care more. The 23-year-old did not have a place to stay when he moved from Georgia.
Before you found this place here, did you have a place to stay?
No, I don't have no place to stay.
So where were you sleeping?
Really, I was sleeping in the car.
YouthLink helped him find medical care and a place to live. Though a blanket may seem small, Ferris is grateful.
Oh, blanket. Oh, yeah, this was really helpful. The blanket, this is the only thing that we need because it's getting cold.
The blanket's something you'll use?
Oh, yeah, the blanket has really been helpful. You see my blanket? It's really nice,
For Faribault Mill, this 23rd step is not a temporary campaign. It's a permanent mission, now woven into the company's fabric.
So when we provide this blanket, is it going to solve homelessness? No. But is it going to provide comfort and warmth to a kid in need? The answer is yes. And we've been doing that for 157 years. We hope to be doing that for another 157 years from here on out.
Shout out, by the way, to my partner Peter and his mom Barb, who found this story. So far, Faribault Mill has surpassed its commitment to donate 4,000 blankets to shelters. They've partnered with organizations in more than 13 states, and they're looking to partner with more. So if you know an organization that could use the blankets, you can head to the company's website. This is an example of one of the donated blankets. You can see they're the same quality as the other ones that they sell that are, so stylish and so many people use. They're incredibly warm. So
this is really nice.
So that was great.
Yeah.
Really good.
Glad we could bring you that story. It's great what they're doing.
These are good blankets.
So much.
Yeah.
Now Joe's going to go across the other street to his other job. Yeah, 6 jobs.